Hi everyone, welcome to practice. This is Steven, and in this 10-minute video what I would like to practice together with you is pain-free sitting. If you're living in the modern world, and I'm guessing we all are, there's a very big chance that all of us sit a little bit too much. Or is the sitting really the problem? Is it not how we sit that might be the problem? So that's what we're going to look at in this little video. If we can sit in a way that doesn't exhaust us, that doesn't ruin our backs, that doesn't slump our shoulders forward, that doesn't make us feel drained and low on energy. So join me for this session and let's see if we can make a difference. So what I've got here is I've got a chair and I've placed a little towel at the back of the chair just to have a bit more traction at the backrest. If you have another chair that might be a bit softer here, preferably also with a backrest, then that will be great as well. Nice. So this is the scenario. I'll just show you from the side. This is the scenario. Imagine you're sitting at your desk probably for many hours a day if you work at a computer or something, and then from time to time you'd suddenly notice that you're starting to slump forward, your back has started to round, your shoulders come forward, likely your head is a little bit forward of the rest of the spine, and you're typing away and you look at the screen. When you notice suddenly your posture is a bit poor, then suddenly we straighten up. You recognize this. You stretch the spine, you maybe go a little bit overboard, you lift your chest, you sit up straight just like everybody has told you when you're young or when you're in school, or maybe your parents, and then you type away again. And then it doesn't take long before you find yourself again in that slumped posture with the rounded back and your head forward and your shoulders forward. And then we go through this cycle many times a day where suddenly we sit up. It lasts for, I don't know, a couple of minutes or maybe less. And then before you know it, you're back to start. And hopefully we can make a little difference. I'll show you sideways because it's much easier to see. So the first, I would like you to stand in front of the chair, your feet quite close to the what do you call this? The legs. Nice. And then we're gonna bend the knees a little bit, hinge at the hips, lean the upper body a little bit forward without rounding too much, and then you hold the front of the chair. You might need to walk your feet a little bit back, and then really stick your buttocks back a lot as you lengthen your spine forward, and then as you bend the knees, find the very back of your chair with your buttocks. So now we're still leaning forward. Nice. And then slowly start to lift the upper body up. And here we're already moved our pelvis to the very back of the chair. It's going to be harder to start into that slump position. And I would like you to try this. Slide your hands underneath your buttocks and find those sort of bony parts, which is the sit bones or ischial tuberosities if you're a bit of an anatomy nerd. And then just feel where they're touching down, and you can tip your pelvis a bit forward, so you're lowering the front, raising the back, and then you can tip your pelvis back, which is like you're tucking your tail under if you had one. I guess you do have a tailbone, isn't it? So just feel the end of those sit bones as you move the pelvis a couple of times forward and back. So here's the tuck position, and just feel what your chest is doing. It's likely to slump under as your pelvis is tucking under, and then as you tip the pelvis forward like you're pouring water out of a bowl in the front, you'll feel a natural little lift in the spine and the chest. Nice. Now you can remove the hands, and if it's helpful you can even slide those sit bones a bit back. We're using your hands, sliding to the back of the chair. This doesn't look great in an office setting, but if you're practicing this by yourself at home, then I would like you to just experience this, and then you'll be able to recreate this feeling without getting in there with your hands, let's just say. So I would like you to slide the buttocks back, have a feeling that your pelvis is in that tipped forward position, so like you're sitting with your behind you, you could say. And it might feel a bit unnatural if you haven't been doing this for a long time, but just bear with me. So then you feel the sit bones. You should sit on a little bit towards the front of the sit bones, like the pelvis is tipped forward. Nice. So now, how do we find a good position with the spine? The first help will be the back of the chair. Nice. So we don't want to lose the pelvic position. We're still in the anteriorly tilted pelvis. So hold the sides of your chair with your hands, and without lifting the buttocks or the sit bones, I would like you to lengthen your back. You might need to lean a little bit forward and create length, especially in the lower back, which is often the most compressed. That's why there's so many lower back problems today in the world. Nice, and then keep that lower back length as you start to lean a little bit back, and then hitch up your back as far up the chair as you can go, and then you sort of pin it back. That's why I have that towel there, to have a bit more friction. And then I'm releasing down, but I'm in a stretched position with the lower back because I've moved my sort of mid back as high up the chair as possible before pinning it back. My sit bones are down. I'm still a little bit anteriorly tilted forward. And okay, this backrest, a little bit too far back for my comfort. I would probably prefer to sit a bit forward, but it's good to practice this, and then you start to feel what is going on. So feel you're in the front of the sit bones, your lower back is stretched. It's like you're doing a stretch as you're sitting, and your feet are just comfortably underneath the knees, or you can change the position of your feet as you want without changing the rest of the posture. Now there's two more things we want to do. We want to align the shoulders and the neck so that they are in the most comfortable natural alignment. So we're starting with the left shoulder. You can see this better. I'm moving the shoulder a little bit forward. Don't go crazy with this. Then lift the shoulder up, and then it's like you're going around the shoulder joint, as it were. Roll the shoulder back until it's more towards the back of the torso, and then don't press it down, but just let the shoulder descend down onto your back. You'll feel that shoulder blade settle into place. And then that shoulder should now be a little bit further back than the right one, which we haven't done. And then do that shoulder roll on the other side. Right shoulder forward, lift it up, roll it back like you're going around an obstacle, so to speak. And then let the shoulder just settle down onto your back. Nice. So just feel this for a moment. This is good shoulder alignment, where your arms, your shoulders are towards the back of the torso, and not sort of bunched forward as we often experience or see around us. And now there's the neck. So often our head is forward, we're sort of moving into that computer screen or whatever we're doing in front of us. So here, hold the base of the skull, and I would like you to just lift straight up with the hands, like something is just pulling your head straight up. Make sure not to tuck the chin or to lift the chin and shorten the back of the neck. We want to lengthen the back of the neck. It's almost like you're tilting down a little bit with the face, with your gaze. You might need to adjust your computer screen so that it's not all the way down there, because it will promote bad neck alignment and a rounded upper back again. So you want your screen out in front of you. Your elbows will be resting by your side with that new shoulder position, and you'll be typing away with that keyboard right under your hand, so you don't need to reach forward, or it's not too close to you either. Nice. Now, if you don't have a backrest, or it's not in a great position, then we would park the pelvis in the same kind of way, sitting in the front of the sit bones. And then instead of rounding or overarching the spine, we would find neutral. We would take care that the front of the ribs stays down. You might need to sort of anchor the ribs down with your hands in the front here, so that again you get a nice lengthened experience, especially in the lower back and actually the whole spine. And you can do that shoulder roll again. As you get more experienced, you can do 2 at a time, but I would advise not to rush forward with this. Just do 1 at a time and take your time with this, and then lengthen the neck up. If it's hard to find the neck alignment, you can always move your chin forward and back a few times. Move the chin forward and then back. You feel as you move forward, there's all this tension, shortening the back of the neck. It doesn't feel great. As you move back, you feel, ah, now my neck is nice and long, it's sort of in the natural position, almost like your head becomes weightless, and just experience that sitting position for a while. In the beginning, you might only be able to hold it for a couple of minutes. It might even feel completely weird to sit like this. But as you keep practicing this, it's going to be ingrained in your brain and in your mental picture of how your body is in space. And hopefully this will become more and more comfortable. It's also a great mindfulness exercise to, from time to time during the day, just check in with your posture, your breath, your alignment, and to get it as close to our natural design as possible. All right, I hope this is helpful. Thanks for joining me today. Let me know how it goes and stay well.